We are now.
Hello and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast. This is our first live show. So hopefully it will all go smooth. As smooth as one of our guests tonight, Martin from the Mancunian Way. Good evening, Martin.
Evening. Smooth.
Yeah.
First time I've ever been called smooth.
It's an anagram for something else, mate, but I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got the ever reliable Anne-Marie. Stan's back with us tonight. You know, after his weeks. We can't. Oh no, we can't say why he was away because of his restraining order and stuff like that. We've got Riz with us and Celebrity John. And Celebrity John.
Good evening.
How are we?
I'm good.
Good, thanks.
Good. Well, so we got our City back today, didn't we?
First half, yeah.
We did.
First half was
Look
fantastic.
at him, John's being negative already.
It's not like John.
Why did Paul sound like Pinky and Perky then?
I don't know. But no, seriously, we got the boys back today, didn't we? You know, especially the first half. I just thought that's arguably the best football we've played all season.
All season, yep. I agree.
It was the most direct.
Yeah. I just do. Anne-Marie, I know we spoke a little bit before we went live, but you're still a little bit disgruntled about Mahrez's shot just before he went off, aren't you?
Yeah, his miss, yeah. I mean, how many, you get a clear-cut chance like that and he skies it over the bar. I mean, it's just a joke.
It is a joke, and he made a joke of it afterwards. Did you not see his tweet?
No.
He said, has it landed yet?
It was harder to miss it than what he did.
It was, exactly.
Riz, sort your sound out.
So it wasn't.
Is he still at the area using your Wi-Fi?
I think he is.
Tommy
I think
Mike.
You've got Mike in your ear.
Wi-Fi. I'm telling you.
So, John, Stan. Sorry, Stan.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Stan.
Been carried off by a clanger.
What?
I thought he'd been carried off by a clanger the way he was talking. With his feet dragging in the background.
That's going to go right over a lot of people's heads, that is.
So,
As we were saying before, Andy, some of my jokes have been time-barred. They're that old.
I know, we're just not used to you joking. You've got a potty mouth. So you obviously watched it at home today, Stan. No, I don't mean it like that. No, so at the Etihad, I thought the place was rocking today. You know, these clowns here, apart from Martin, of course, we're always having a go at the family stand. But today, the family stand was rocking. How did it come across on the TV? Did it come across that way, that the atmosphere was fantastic?
Right from when they turned up in the coach, there was a fair few there, giving it plenty of welly. I love the booing when the anthem come on.
Yeah, Brownlow drowned it out, didn't we?
Do you know, I think they might have done us a favour there, the FA. I think for the first time in a long time, they've got everybody together. Nobody's moaning at the moment. Everyone's just focused on winning the league, winning Champions League, and getting this ran back down them.
Right, let's go back a little bit, Martin. Pep's press conference, pre Villa game. I just thought it was sensational, and that is something we've needed for a long time. Because normally, when there's negativity against City, we just sit back and take it. That was the first time I can ever remember City coming out and actually fighting.
Yeah, I thought it was a rally call. I thought it was amazing, and I thought it led into today. It was just something you want to hear, and it makes me laugh because all the Premier League and the rest of these other 19 clubs don't realise what they've done. What they've actually done is made Pep want to stay even more now. Yeah. They sat there trying to get the guy out and trying to get all these players out, and it's had the absolute opposite effect to everything. And they're all going, staying here longer now. I ain't moving.
The thing is, we've seen how stubborn Pep is with his tactics and everything on when he's got his certain way in what he does, and he's so stubborn he will not move from that. So he's bound to be stubborn in other ways as well. And like you say, what the Premier League done is actually made him sit down and think, no, I'm not going nowhere.
But one of the things that I liked about his press conference was that the 9 clubs that tried to get us kicked out of the Champions League, he's named them all and he will not forget who they are. You know, he's really, really gunning for some of these people. And the fact that he named Daniel Levy out of all
as the ringleader, and even Blake, you know, is it our fault that Steven Gerrard slipped? That was just that had me crying with laughter.
I think that naming the Levy specifically will reflect a bit of light on what had gone on with the Harry Kane transfer. Something's gone there, and it's really wound City up. Well, it's certainly wound Pep up. Whether Levy agreed to it and then changed his mind, or then said, "Oh, I want this," and then I want it paid in a different way, and then left it really, really late because we couldn't sign anyone then. Fortunately, we've missed the bomb there because we've ended up with Ireland. But we went into that season. Everyone was worried that we didn't have a striker and we should have had Kane, and people were having a go at City. Why didn't we get it over the line? When they've said in the past, and when Caldoon said in the past as well, we know where the bodies are. We know what you're up to. I think it's little things like this where it's starting to come out now. There's something going on there.
A lot of the press have backed as well, haven't they?
I just think it was a sensational statement by Pep, and Pep's not even been briefed there, has he? Pep's just come out with it wholeheartedly and basically to everybody. And I had to keep listening to his presser last night, John. I must have listened to it 4 or 5 times. I was crying, laughing, but the passion what he had today, it mirrored the atmosphere, all around the ground today.
I couldn't believe it on about the 84th minute when the Villa fans started to sing, "Is this a library?" And then
that was the first song we sung.
It's just an idiot thing to do, isn't it? You know what I mean? And the usual one came out, about the European Cup. That I think
that was the
Villa fans that were there they weren't even born when it was won. You know what I mean?
I wasn't, but I just thought today, fantastic performance today. But the only concerning thing for me is Ireland. It looks like he's got a thigh strain. I thought it was really bizarre that he didn't step up to take the penalty. But obviously, if he's got it, we didn't know he was injured at the time with a thigh strain and stuff like that. So I thought fair play to Ireland because he could have took it, missed it, and then it comes out that he had a thigh strain.
Yeah, funnily enough, I thought that was his best performance so far. And I don't mean the goal-wise. I mean his actual contribution to the game.
Yeah.
Because he was known for weeks and weeks. He's never done an Aguero. He's not coming into midfield. Today he was tracking back. He was coming in. He was laying the ball off. He was chasing lost causes. And I'm sat there. And it's like you said earlier on, this worst thing the Premier League have done is actually charge us. Because all he's done is absolutely pissed us all off and gone, all right then, we'll show you now.
Yeah.
And made us all go. And that's sort of like one of the City logos in it together, and it's never been more evident. I said to the guys around me today, this season in particular, I felt, a little bit of bickering between City fans and stuff like that. But since Monday, the togetherness, even on social media, City fans have come out with the humour and stuff like that, what we're renowned for. Like some of the chants today, we'll cheat when we want and stuff like that. It's just brilliant. Some of the stuff on social media, it just shows us exactly, I think it's exactly what we needed.
I see the Mancini song got changed today.
What was it? Because I couldn't quite hear the South stand, mate. What was it?
Where they said that he comes from Italy, and then they changed it to we paid him secretly.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
We did.
It was complete humour back today. It was great. It was.
Yeah, it was.
The only thing I heard
I was waiting for the bananas to come out and the inflatables and stuff.
Did the Villa fans start booing during that minute's applause?
Yes,
they did.
And then I didn't know where it all come from. So.
Well, they didn't boo. I think they start singing something, and and the City fans booed them, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So let's get on. Let's get on to the incidents. Like again, it seems like I'm taking the piss, Stan, but I'm not. Because we all pretty much does it really sounds like I'm taking the piss. We all rush back from the match. I've not had time to see any highlights or anything like that. But I'm being told the Grealish one wasn't really a penalty, but the handball was a penalty.
Okay.
Being sat in my magnificent chair at home, not having to worry about the cold and the wind and the wet, and being able to get a drink whenever I want, I managed to say all that in 37 different ways. And
you still get it wrong.
They did try to make it the narrative that Jack Grealish had gone for it, but he'd done nothing wrong. If he's done nothing wrong, he's not really cheating then, is he? You know.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, you know, that he's played for that, and he's very good at that, and he'll get his foot just in the way to make sure that he kind of. It's very clever.
But don't they all do that?
Of course they do.
Listen, we're Man City. We'll see when we want. We'll do what we want. He's fantastic. He can do what he wants. Jack Grealish for me today.
I actually thought he clipped him. I mean, did he make a meal of it? Yeah. Well, I thought he did clip him beforehand.
He did.
Extra. I don't think he needed
if you don't make a meal of it, then you don't get them. Simple as.
That's the exact word you were going to say. You've got to do it.
Correct.
That VAR one was that's got to be the quickest VAR decision, by the way, I've ever seen in the history of VAR.
What, the handball? Crazy.
I've got an admission. Jack Grealish has become my favourite City player. Do you know he's a proper lad, isn't he? You know, he's real, and I think he's settling into the club now. I think he's got what it's about. You know, today I thought it was arguably his best game for us today. I just thought he was taking players on. He was actually creating stuff today. And there was a shot, was it in the first half, what got deflected. If that had gone in, oh man.
Yeah, the goalkeeper saved it, didn't he?
The roof would have come off.
Yeah.
It's not got a roof though, has it?
I noticed they stopped booing him though, didn't they, eventually?
Yeah.
They booed him at first.
Yeah.
Oh, he got some stick. Got some stick at the end. Yeah.
They were giving him loads at the end, and they were still booing him.
Were they?
Yeah.
But there wasn't that many of them booing him. They'd all give up.
Yeah. At the end, he went over clapping the Villa fans. Some was giving him the old hand gestures and stuff like that. But to be fair, some of them was clapping him. I think there was a bit going on with the Villa fans after the match, as well as we walked past the coaches. You know, it was a bit lively around there.
Yeah,
it always is.
Yeah, and Riz was probably the ringleader. So,
Andy.
Well, no, actually, we walked past him and we were just doing what we normally do, and we all stood around and we were telling them how fantastic they were today.
Was they counting the 7 fingers on one hand?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they were shocking.
But I think Pep was right to take, to make a change at half time. There's no doubt about it. He took Diaz off. I thought Diaz had a great half.
Good to see the centre backs back.
Stupidly, Diaz got booked for dissent and doing the gesture to get another player a yellow card. So
no, do you know what he got? Do you know why he got the yellow card? Because he was the third one to the referee. It seems to have appeared for some reason over the last week or so that if the third person comes, the first two are all right, but when the third person comes up, He'll get a yellow.
Yeah, the Wolves player got
Where
sent
that
off for it,
was
didn't he,
come
yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say the Premier League have changed a rule without nobody knowing?
Again, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think the rule applies. I think if Bruno Fernandes does it, I don't think it applies to him. I think
No.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
he
he's
referees
allowed.
the game,
He's
doesn't he?
allowed him.
No, it's. I just thought today was just phenomenal the way everybody come together. I think we all felt what the atmosphere was going to be like today, and it's shown as well. A song just as the players were coming out, when the Guardiola song, picture of Pep on there, and I think that just emphasised it. He's really put energy into
something to the person who's popping up on the bottom saying the FIFA player. It might feel weird singing to yourself in your seat, but carry on doing it. It's fantastic. That's all I can say.
I take it. You was in the South Stand.
No, he was in 2-2. No, I think he was in family stand at level 2.
Martin,
FIFA player.
As I said
FIFA
before
player.
we started recording,
And somebody sat and still join in then.
it would help if the South Stand came in for kickoff rather than being outside.
Shots fired.
It was very noticeable before the game, before kickoff.
The reason
The South Stand was quite empty.
is because we had choir practice on the concourse.
No way were they going to help create or build an atmosphere if there was that few in there, and that's fact.
I just love the banter now. I think me and Risen have turned this family stand versus South Stand into a debate. Can I just say something as well from last week's show when we was on Martin's show as well, and a couple of shows we've done before? Some of the things we're saying, we're getting quite. Some people are actually they're starting to quote certain things from the shows, aren't they, and claiming that it's come from them. Have you found that when you've been doing shows, Martin?
All the time. All the time, I get it. I've had so many lawyers and solicitors this week on the channel telling me that the city are guilty and everyone's going down and everyone's doing this. I didn't realise there was that many lawyers and solicitors in the world.
We're all experts now.
Yeah. And financial expert solicitors as well.
Yeah, everyone's a financial expert. Everyone knows about our players' futures. Apparently, Foden's off to Chelsea. Brian's off to Liverpool.
Maybe they're all fortune tellers.
Is that because we're bringing Dick off and Summer be back?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I think maybe we should get Clinton Baptiste on one week and see if he can help us out with it, so we'll be in the know.
Riz, going on about the media, and I know as always we have a giggle and stuff like that, but have you noticed over the past couple of days in particular, the media are starting to back down a little bit?
I think they've started to realise. I think once they've got over the sort of let's throw it down City's neck, I think they've actually read the charges and realised what could actually happen from this. It shouldn't be a case of what's going to happen to City, how many points are going to get deducted. It should be what happens if City win this. What's this going to mean for the Premier League football and basically their jobs? Because if there's no Premier League to talk about, then there's nothing for them to discuss. So I think they're starting to realise that it's quite serious. The charges are quite serious. People could actually go in prison for it. They're that serious that they're talking about. No, John. What they're actually accusing the directors of the business.
Oh yeah,
it can put you in prison. John, you've got your own business, and if you falsify accounts, you can go down for it, and that's what we're saying. We've falsified accounts.
But the thing is,
so
with the media, they've done all the clickbait stuff originally, and it's like the Express retracted and made 2 fresh statements out about Haaland, because they had to retract them. But that got a lot more clicks for him, didn't it, as well? So that's all they're interested in.
Of course it did.
But have you noticed that, though, John? They didn't apologise. They just changed the article, so they're still a little bit smug. I think the only person, I think there's two now journalists who really champion City's cause. That's the brilliant Martin Samuel. He's just, when Martin Samuel writes something negative about City, I respect it because I know he's not biased. Because many times he writes, he writes facts. He doesn't. I sound like rapper then, facts. And there's an article today in, dare I say it, The Sun, who wrote a brilliant article where they've actually had a pop in this article at all the so-called elite clubs and told them why they're a disgrace.
I really don't mind The Sun because the main reason is that the rags and the dippers hate them, so I don't mind them.
Do you think with this Mark Halsey stuff? Do you think Mark Halsey coming out this week as well saying, something we've always known for years about certain teams getting decisions, and then Mark Halsey comes out and goes, the PGMOL always told us to do that sort of thing, and it's like, this is why I said on the show last week to you all, I don't think this ends up going anywhere. Because I think the Premier League in the end will sit there and go, this is going to open some air that we may not want to get.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, someone said it. It was listening to a podcast that was amazing. I think it was Cheeses. And he said something about, or someone said on it, it's like when they got the Olympics and all the London gangsters were like, all these dead bodies are going to get suddenly undercut. You get realised now when you start digging up. It's like...
Has someone ordered an ice cream?
I don't know.
Someone's ordered an ice cream. Can anybody hear the ice cream man in the background?
Yeah, I can hear it.
He's got to be still. The look on Stan's face, he's got to be in.
Yeah, it's got to be Stan there.
No, but he's spot on.
He just got a message on his Nokia 3310.
It's not me. I'm
shit in it. If this, they take
it suits everyone. It suits everybody for it to go away. I think what'll happen is we'll just basically take like a bit of a fine. It'll look like we've had our wrists slapped. We've been a bit naughty. We didn't give them any. They'll get us on the smallest charge they can, and it'll all just peter away because it doesn't suit anybody. This opening up.
I hope City don't accept that. I hope City take it all the way and rip the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, that's what I hope as well.
I
want to see.
It'd be nice.
I want to see the Premier League turn a new one.
Yeah,
but I hope to do that. But it's then where do we go to buy players? We'll be blackballed from everyone. Like, where do you go?
But the thing is,
that's when the Super League's out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's we
don't want that, do we?
Down that road now.
We are going to be tarnished. We are going to be tarnished. We're always going to have the shit ripped out of us now by rival fans and stuff like that. But people our generation, and obviously Stan's generation as well, that we used to the sense. Right. So here's a question, Anne-Marie. Here's one. Can you read it? One for you to answer there.
Well, it was an okay penalty by Mahrez, and Haaland didn't take it because apparently he's got a bit of a thigh strain.
It was
I hope that answers your question.
It was a penalty. He sent him the wrong way.
It's a great penalty.
For me.
It was a goal, wasn't it? What more do you want me to say?
Come on, we know you love him.
Shut his eyes. His eyes and run at it.
As penalties
We've got video evidence saying you love him.
Go, it was one of the best penalties I've seen for a long time.
Don't talk out your backside.
We want blood, Anthony. We want blood. We want blood, and if there's no blood, we're not interested. That's what we're doing.
Go on, Stan. You can answer this one from Super City. If you can read it, that is.
Do you know what? I don't think that's a bad point at all. It ties in a little bit with what you were saying a minute ago about that. If they can sling just enough to make things stick, so there will always be known as cheats, but nobody really has to go through the mill, and nothing ever really gets discovered. because they don't want that. Like you said about the Olympics, I can see that. And, they say, oh, well, United or Liverpool, and they'll stamp their high heels and stomp off saying that, oh, we want to start the Super League now because the Premier League aren't fair. And by not fair, to me, they're not doing what they want them to do. That's all it is.
I think it's inevitable.
I never heard one single problem about FFP, about anything for 30 years of United and Liverpool winning things. Never a problem. Going out there, getting players and doing this, and the money that came in from other sources, pills, Martin Edwards' meat business, going all the way back there. Never a problem. Suddenly, can't do that. Computer says no. Finished.
Nothing was ever said when Blackburn got all that money, was it? When Blackburn, new kids on the block, they turned up with all the Jack Walker's money.
I think that was mentioned in that Neville and Carragher thing that was on this week. That wasn't mentioned, and yet you could do it. But then Carragher turned on and went, oh, well, FFP wasn't in there. And it's like, that's the exact point.
You say that about FFP. But the Mancini stuff, if you go back to the actual Mancini charge, and this comes from Colin Savage, of he got paid £1.5 million wage, and then the rest of it was bonuses. But this time when he was alleged to have had this money from this club that Sheikh Mansour did own in wherever it was, can't remember. There was no FFP then.
Exactly.
FFP wasn't actually in when they're saying Mancini got this money. So it's like the same. I don't know where you're going to go with that one because there was no FFP to follow.
And if I remember rightly, didn't they sort of like have 3 years into it, and then at the end of the second year, they changed the end date, the deadline date changed.
Yeah, they always did the end goal on us. Yeah, they always did for us to fail it.
Yeah, exactly. So then when we went over, because there's no chance of you being able to recover all that in 1 year. Oh, look at that. They're innocent, they're guilty.
But it was like 2009-10 when Mancini come in, but it didn't come until 2011. So it's like they don't know how they're going to argue that one out in court because they're like, there is no FFP.
No, they're idiots, mate. Absolute idiots. And the lawyers that they've got putting their case forward, I always will rip them a new one, basically, because they won't know what to say to him.
Do you think he got any publicity today, by the way?
Yeah, I think that worked out quite well. And the funny thing I find is that some of the media outlets actually thought we did a spelling mistake because they didn't get it. It was quite funny that,
Didn't Colin Savage's mate, is it that Stephen lad? Because I know he's a spot-on sports lawyer. And he turned around and he actually predicted what had happened in CAS because he is somebody who knows what he's talking about. He is a sports lawyer. He did know what was happening. And right down to the time barred stuff, he explained exactly what went on. And even not cooperating, you can't be seen to get away with that because you've got to cooperate and that's all part of it. And he was saying that you're going to get another problem coming up very soon. That the Premier League is governed by English law. And English law can only go back 6 years. What are they going to do then?
Martin, do you remember when we was on your show last week, mate, that we actually touched upon, and considering it was we did it live on Sunday evening, that we spoke about Pep. Why did he just randomly start saying, I won't forget them 8 or 9 Premier League clubs what have gone against us, la-di-da-di-da. And all of a sudden this comes out on the Monday. And I think it was Riz who also said, there's something more going on behind the scenes here. And lo and behold, so I think we all had an input.
I think they've known about it for a long time. And I know they've come out on the line as they didn't. But if you notice, Pep's come out with weird things all season about this dressing room's not quite right. There's things going on that are not. And you think, and when you start looking back, you're like, City had already been tipped off a long time. This was all coming. I just think the announcement came because of the white paper on the Monday that we drew out. That City were the only team in the top 6 to actually want to go with. because they were like, no, we're sick of, seeing Daniel Levy's name at the top of chief exec papers and everything else. But it's just weird how Liverpool, United, Arsenal, even Newcastle, funnily enough, didn't want to go down this white paper road. They wanted to keep it in-house, and City were like, no. And then lo and behold, Thursday, the Super League gets re-announced again, and you're like, that's too many coincidences, that. It's too many in one thing just to say there's nothing in it. And I think it's just all been done. Oh, and then funnily enough, as well at the same time, 100 million billion loan is coming from the UK. He's going to the UK government from a company. That is chaired by Khaldoon Al-Mubarak. You're like, hang on. What's going on here? It's all political.
I was going to say the FA is giving it away, haven't they? Because he said that Man City haven't been cooperating with them now. And it's like, well, yeah, they're not going to cooperate with you now for the same reason they didn't cooperate with UEFA. Why are you going to give sensitive business information to somebody who sat on there, where the guy who's doing the kangaroo court's an Arsenal fan and the chairman's a United fan?
Yeah, you're not going to let
we've clearly got a really good business model. Okay, it's different. It's totally different, and it's not traditional. But as they're finding out, they're doing things where there are no rules, and I think that's what's getting them. They can't pin anything on them because there's no rule there to say you can't do that.
Yeah,
it's like Coca-Cola being taken. Pepsi, and then you go, hang on, what? It just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Did anybody see? No. Did anybody see the banner at Arsenal yesterday?
Yes, idiots, aren't they?
Idiots. They don't get. I really hope the sponsors were sat in the stand when it's all out.
You can't buy stupid, can you? You've got to be born and bred with it, and you is.
Thing is, how much would it cost them to get that banner written up?
Why are you asking me?
Just
I think you get me mixed up with my mate.
In it though, Riz, seriously, it's like, Emirates, the Emirates Stadium, and then having to go us over oil money.
It's like when Alan Davies told us to go back to the desert and set our own league up, and you're like, do you know who your main sponsor? Do you know where they're based?
I know.
You got a clue? You need help.
Hey, don't forget as well, they've got the Rwanda spread everywhere, aren't they? They're quite happy to take the money off of Rwanda. They're quite happy to take the money.
You'd think somebody say to them, you need to change that. That's, yeah.
Well, just goes to show how blind they are, doesn't it? You know what I mean? How they don't actually look at themselves, they only look at other people. You know what I mean? And it all comes down to a lot of people are saying that it's racist. And it is weird how the Americans seem to be able to get away with everything they want. But you get any people from the Middle East and things like that, and it's a no-go area, you know what I mean? People don't want them there. And they say, it's dirty oil money and things like that.
It makes me laugh because it's like they try to say to them, you can't spend your own money. It's like somebody coming up to me and offering to put, £200,000 into my business. And then another garage down the road saying like, you can't do that. You can't give them any money. Well, why not? I said, well, you're making a better garage than you're going to make us. So, it's illegal.
I know.
Are you using my analogies there, Riv? Did somebody else use my analogy as well on after last week's show?
I'm putting it into terms that the normal person will understand, not using big words like pragmatic and things like that, like you use.
Seriously, though, let's look at the people who've tried slaughtering us this week. That Melissa Reddy,
Oh, don't get me going on her, please.
No, let me get you going on her. Go on, Riz. Say what's on your mind.
Oh, that was embarrassing. That's the most embarrassing thing I've seen on TV for a long time. I know, like you've got Sam Smith making a right muppet of himself this week in the last couple of weeks, but
looking like a big black pudding.
Exactly. Absolutely embarrassing. And you get her coming on as well. I mean, I don't know whether they brought her on for like the transgender vote or something. I don't know what she came on for, to be honest. But she's horrendous. She's obviously, everybody knows she's a Liverpool fan. Everybody knows that. She wasn't even quoting. She was sort of like paraphrasing and making her own bits up to what has been said in the conference. We'd already seen the press conferences, and then I'm seeing copies of what she's saying outside, and it was nothing like what she was talking about. I can't understand what she's saying. It's some strange South African accent. Just car crash TV, that was.
She's from the Anfield Rap.
Yeah.
And then
she's going out with Mane, wasn't she, for a bit as well? And, she's just...
Somebody asked about that. Why is it only mainstream journalists that are allowed in at City, in these presses? No fan-based, journals can go on there. So I said, well, she gets in there, don't she? I mean, that's all she is. She's just a fanzine editor for, what is it? Anfield Rap, Redmond TV, whatever it is.
Next week. Andy's going into the Etihad next week. Because about the we're all doing podcasts and everything. We all get a go, don't we? If this is the rule.
Somebody's just put on there about.
Well, I think we need a press pass, don't we?
Can be arranged.
I think we need to get in there in that press pass and then start telling if we then press what we think of them. Henry Winter's right at the top of that list.
That's it. I see Pep keeps having a dig at Spurs, naming they have to be in the Champions League to pay off their new stadium. I tell you what, isn't that financial doping? Because when Arsenal and Tottenham have sold the stadium, then sold them off for flats, they've managed to pull in hundreds of millions, something that you couldn't do if you're in Newcastle or where City are now, or in Liverpool or anything like that. So if Middlesbrough or anybody like that in the north wanted to try and do that and could only get a third of the money that you can at Liverpool, in London, would that be, oh, well, that's just one of them things? Shouldn't that money then be distributed evenly? Or any excess money that comes from London clubs put down into the grassroots to help, reps learn how to operate VAR and things like that.
Yeah, but Stan, that makes common sense. You know what I mean? It's football. Yeah. You don't have common sense.
Am I right? Stan, I think I'm right in saying as well, part of the deal for the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City Council get all the gate receipts, I think, up to 34,000, and City only get the profits after 34,000.
Oh, that started like that, but it got too complicated and they've changed it, and I think they just give them a lump sum every year. It's just easier now because we know we're
regenerate Manchester Forum.
So we're paying off the council as well, then, have we? Is that another charge coming?
Oh, damn! You've opened another can of now. Oh, that's 116 charges. Oh.
I think this what John's put here, and it's something we touched. We need to start banning reporters like her. Absolutely. We spoke about it earlier. We should start banning the arses out of these people who are stirring the shit. Yeah, stirring the shit.
Yeah.
Sharpening the pencils while they're watching the game and stuff, and then going upstairs for a cup of coffee and some vol au vents. We should really go to town and just boot them out.
Yeah, we've got to stop being everyone's friend. We've got to come away from this. We want to be liked. Listen, we've been here long enough now. We're past this. Let's be everyone's best mate. Let's start.
They're never going to invite you around for tea, are they, Martin? Yeah,
we've got to start being ruthless. Ferguson wouldn't have stood for 5% of what they've given to us.
No.
And we know what Bacon Face was like, so I'm telling you now. They've got to be ruthless. They've got to stop it now.
Yeah, it's one there. There's a good one there, Anne-Marie. Go on, you can set that one.
No, I only watch my own channel. Thanks very much.
Okay, fair enough. I know. But yeah, I think it's a valid.
Keeps dropping you in there, don't you?
I don't know what you mean. So something has got, something definitely has got to. It's sort of like an inside joke that Martin is.
No, I actually know a lot of things. Don't worry, I can't know.
Yeah. So Colin Savage does know his stuff, but the level.
Is he a relation of yours?
No, he's too clever.
Yeah, he's the one with the brains.
I resemble that accusation. But yeah, you imagine the levels above Colin Savage, the ones, what we will be using, against these Muppets, the Premier League. For them to, I think, have they changed 4 of the charges as well today?
Yeah.
They got the wrong year in the handbook, didn't they?
You can just imagine them going through a little handbook like that.
Do you know how many times the handbook's been changed? The handbook's getting changed all the time. Some of the rules have used, said they're not even rules anymore. What are you doing?
I'm waiting for Pep to turn round at a presser one day and they say, right, what do you think of these accusations? It's like, well, when you can make your mind up, well, they are. Come back and tell us. Because at the moment,
that's the new one. There's now 127. In total, there's 127.
The actual lawyers for Man City must be sitting back, looking at this, thinking, "My God, this is like a Mickey Mouse outfit, and we're going to rip them." Yeah, because they will. Because the amount of how clever they are, the people, compared to what Premier League are going to use. You know what I mean? I know they'll be qualified, and I know they'll be lawyers, but these people that City are using, Boris Johnson used them for starters. Says it all, doesn't it?
Aren't they sort of also bringing into this the accountants, which are probably the world's biggest accountancy company?
Probably.
Oh, is that
I hope they start looking at the Premier League.
Whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them's the BDO. I thought that's the British Darts Organisation, isn't it? No wonder we can't get the books right.
They've got. I think they've got.
Riz,
they're red.
Hang on, Riz. Martin, have you got to go for your show, buddy?
No, I've got 5 minutes. I've got 5.
All right, buddy. Just give us a shout when you need to go. Yeah.
No,
yeah. Right. We've Anne-Marie.
I was gonna say, head leading up the Premier League's accountancy team. I think it's Diane Abbott.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, Anne-Marie,
that's the sort we're playing with.
City women yesterday again. 2-1 against Arsenal. Missed a lot of chances, and Bunny Shaw and that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did miss a lot of chances, but it was again. No more than today's game, it was an important 3 points. It's put us into 3rd place, into the European places, and I don't think we will. But we officially we're in a position where we could go on to win the league. Mm-hmm. I think it might be just out of our grasp this time, but the team have improved no end. I think it's something like 15 or 16 games unbeaten or something like that.
Yeah.
And
what do you think? What do you think the reason is for that, Anne-Marie?
Winning games.
It's not just winning games, is it? It's.
Well, yeah, it is.
The first couple of it is, but we've not all been winning. You've got to look at the fact that we have to give the team time to settle.
So let me ask you a question, Anne-Marie. Let me ask you a serious question. So, do you feel a little bit guilty now because you wanted Gareth Taylor out at the start of the season?
I didn't want Gareth Taylor out at the start of the season. That was you. And I've said all along we need to give them time because it takes new players time to bed in. And as we're seeing now, it's working. We've got some decent players there.
Do you maybe think it wasn't Gareth Taylor? Do you reckon you seem to think it wasn't Gareth Taylor causing the issues behind the scenes and it may have been a couple of players? And now they've left that.
It might well be.
Spreading that one around the way.
You've got to look at after winning the Euros. I think it's had that in itself will have had a big impact on some of the players involved in it and who will have thought they were due bigger and better things maybe and have gone off for it. And good luck to them. But then you look at the players that are still with us, the likes of Greenwood, Chloe Kelly. You know, Chloe Kelly had a fantastic game yesterday.
I'm impressed with Coombs. I think Coombs is becoming a great player.
Do you know what? There's two things wrapped up in there, Andy. It was Gareth Taylor bringing in Coombs for Dana Castellanos that made a huge difference. And Laura Coombs was much, much better on the wavelength for that game. I think that change gave Arsenal a problem. They only set up with three at the back as well. So they left our two wingers, Hemp and Kelly, with loads of room on the flanks. And, you know, they took it to him. But it comes back to what you were saying there, Anne-Marie, that I think a few of them may well have had their heads turned. Yeah. But as I said back in August, if you've got 7 or 8 players not happy on one manager, the manager is the easy guy to get rid of, aren't they? You don't get rid of 7 or 8 players, 4 of which potentially are world class. You don't let them all go and then say, well, we'll keep it in, unless you know something's going on in the background. And that was clearly what was going on. Unfortunately, because he's only a 22-game league, if you lose 1 or 2 at the start, you're potentially out of it. But they've had 1 defeat in 17 games now. Yeah. And that was that extra time loss to Arsenal. And that's right. And a lot of people have turned around and gone, well, at the end of the day, would you rather be in Europe or the Continental Cup final? And you'd rather be in Europe. Yeah. You know, that's going to be your next problem now, trying to get out of them. I mean, this year was an unbelievable game. It was like you played Real Madrid away, and that was it. You played some team from Bulgaria or somewhere. Both teams beat them 6-0. But then that was it. There wasn't even a chance to bring them back to Manchester and try and beat them. That was it. And then you were out. So before you know it, I think, did we lose 3 of the first? Yeah, we won. We beat that small team. Then we lost to Madrid. Then we lost to Villa. Who just demolished somebody today. They've come on leaps and bounds. Fair play to them.
But all in all, you know, huge improvement throughout the team. So, right, listen, guys, we'll park it here for tonight because I know Martin's got to go and do his own show. So, and I'm sure everybody knows Martin's link and stuff like that. So head over and go and watch Martin.
Not me, don't worry.
No, we'll wrap it here because it's our first live performance, mate. Now we've got technology sorted out, buddy. So yeah, everybody head over to Martin's show because he does a brilliant job over there, the Mancunian Way podcast. Thanks for joining us, buddy. I'll put a link in the description as well. You know, so everybody can head over there and enjoy the City family, as it were.
Is it interactive, Martin?
Great to see you, Martin.
Can we hear
is it interactive? You can talk in the comments and all sorts.
Interactive, and then can we hear abuse at you?
Yeah, I'm used to it. Don't you worry about it.
They could have done it with us tonight.
Andy walked past me and you'd crap me around the back of the head. You know what I mean? I thought it was just being a crap.
I've shit 2 people up today, you, Martin, and Riz.
Is that another charge?
Because my son went,
I
was talking to you and that bloke just come in and just started talking over me. Went,
he does that. Thanks for joining. He does that a lot. You do that a lot, talking over people.
No, just you. I try to bring sense to the show and stuff. No, seriously, though, guys.
You've got to when you sit in the family stand. You've got to be heard.
Right, guys.
I like you, Martin.
I'm making no
You could come again.
He is. No,
come again.
Absolutely, mate. He's welcome anytime. Have a great week, guys. You know, we'll probably do one on Wednesday after the City winner against Arsenal to take us top. But have a great week. And thanks for contributing. And we'll do it again soon, guys.
0-0 Wednesday night.